Hey everybody, it's Aquila, and this is a Lefty Knitter podcast, episode 208. Today is going to be a one-shot video day because I just didn't get anything done. On top of John getting poison ivy last week and Hazel getting pink eye, we're all winning. This is a podcast, if you're new here, welcome. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back to my channel. I really appreciate it. So, I record usually through the week, or I try to. Doesn't always happen that way. And then I post on Saturdays. So, yeah. It is already Friday, and it is June 16th. It is raining, like thunderstorm, crazy raining outside. Yeah. Summer begins in like 4 days. So, there we are. The kids here are already out. I'm in Maryland. I'm in Baltimore in the county. And schools are already out. So this is her day 3 of summer vacation. Although she didn't even get to go to her last 2 days of school because, contagious pink eye. This is not a medical episode or a podcast. This is about yarn and all the crafty things that I get into. So let's start with a finished object. It's not fully finished because I didn't technically block it and I still have the ends to weave in. But the knitting is done and it's super cute. I am participating in the Black Knitter, who is Liz. She is hosting a Juneteenth cal. We cast on, I think the start date was the 11th. And I know you only get like maybe a month to do this. So I picked a hat and it is by Vanessa Smith, and it's called the Kestra hat, and I finished it. So if you guys have been watching for a while, I used 2 yarns that I just used in my Super Swirl Shawl. It is a DK weight hat. It calls for a US 4 and a 7. And I used the 2 colors that I used in my shawl, which I'll show you now. This was like an oatmeal color. I don't have the tags. They're somewhere. I think they're in this bin behind me. And I used the rest, I used the Marigold Jen colorway, this one here. And I think this hat turned out so cool. I picked this because first off, doing a cal for me, I love doing them. Don't get me wrong. I love doing them, but I have to do smaller objects. And so when somebody, I don't remember who told me about Vanessa Smith, I don't remember. I don't know how it came up. But she has some great patterns and she has some hats. And I thought the pattern on this hat just reminded me of like the chevrons or knit stitches, and it just was really cool. So I don't know where I was when I showed you guys because I'm pretty sure I had cast it on in the last episode. But that was just marking my beginning of round and I just didn't take it off. Oh my God. How beautiful is this? All the links will be down below for the items I talk about and patterns and designers. Even the top. It's super cool, is it not? And they're like, you could do so many color combinations. You could even use like scraps of DK weight and use that as the color, like say the pink color that I used going up and around. Oh, it's just so cool. All right, I know people like seeing floats, so let's see some floats here. It's not blocked, so it might not be the best to show you, but I didn't catch any of my floats. The longest, there was one part where I think it went across 6 stitches, and I was like, it's a hat. I'm not catching my float. The other longest ones, there was some 5s, but it's not bad at all. So look at that. Isn't that cool? It's so cool. All right, so now you've seen it. I should put it on. Let's put it on. All right. I don't. The ends are everywhere. Let me try tucking them in first. As we do a little dance, sing a little song. Okay. Super cute. Hazel even tried it on. It's a one size only, I believe, but you could probably modify this to be a little bit bigger. I can't remember. Well, I don't know how the crown would work. You'd have to figure that out. But like this repeat part wasn't real wide, so you could probably figure it out. Just saying. Or you could use any weight yarn and just appropriately like cast on more repeats or whatever. Oh my god, so cool. Okay, let's take that off. I even like blow dried my hair today because if you can't tell, I got a haircut. But not only did I get my length cut, and you might have already seen this on Instagram because I put it in my stories and that's it. I now have a mohawk. I'm not going to be putting it straight up because that would just be insane, but I got my head shaved. And I got, of course, obviously the other side is done too. I promise. I didn't just go halvesies on it. Boop, boop. So I know with my hair down, it's really hard to notice unless this piece is kind of pushed back some. But even then, it's kind of hard to tell. I did a few hairstyles last night just playing with it because I just got it done yesterday. So I was playing with doing like a French braid. Maybe I'll insert a picture. That's the one I posted on Instagram. I did where you do like the bumps going down. I did like a twist where you would take this side and you would just twist it like this. And then you would pin it. And then it kind of hangs. So that's cute too. So I just need to play around more. I know there's going to be lots of people that are like, why would you do that? You've not watched me. Well, I can't say that because in the 7 years I've been podcasting about that, I wasn't in my phase of always like cutting my hair off. I did at one point, right before COVID, I had my hair cut really short. But when I was younger, or in my 20s, I should say, when I was in my 20s, I constantly, I would let it grow out and then I'd cut it all off and I'd grow it out and then I'd cut it off. So it's not like new to me. So to get something a little different, I had like the reverse bob for a very long time, the stacked bob or whatever. And I had like, my hair was really long in the front and it was all short and stacked in the back. So it's not new to me to just do this. It's hair, it grows back. I mean, I know I'm very fortunate that my hair grows at a decent rate. So, I mean, growing this out is going to kind of suck, but whatever. It's hair. Yeah. I, like, even the hairdresser was like, are you sure about this? And I was like, yep. Because it doesn't faze me. It doesn't faze me. Some people couldn't do that, and I totally understand. All right. So let's show you the little bits that I've been working on because it has not been much. It hasn't been much at all. The only other projects I have really are my Stephen West, the shifting chevrons. Now I have put some work on that and I am very excited. Now I have contemplated, if you look at the pattern, you repeat the colors like 3 times for each strip. And I think there's like 7 strips of the chevrons. I'm really in a chevron kick, I guess, right? Okay, so you repeat the colors. Let me just show you. So I have all of my 7 colors now, plus I've repeated some. So let me try to, these ends are all woven in using the Stephen Weavin method, but I just haven't trimmed them yet. And that's the back side. Here's the front side. So you'd make this tab and then all these stitches are on hold, because that's where you're going to start every strip of your shawl is going to come from this center point. And then, so I have color A, B, C, D, E, and F. No, G. 7, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Yeah, that's right. And then I've repeated. So went back to A, which I love how A, like the last color, 7 plays off of 1. They play really nice together. And then it goes back to B and C, or 1 and 2. So I would be repeating this. I have however many more to go. I'm not sure how many it is. It's like 6 more to go. I could look at my paper. Hold on. Hold, please. Because I have it right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So I have 5 more of these chevrons to go. Now, is that going to be long enough as a shawl? So what I really need to look at is when I do the 5 more, because this is the width, right? So this is the top of the shawl. Measure that and see if that's going to be long enough. Because if it's not going to be long enough, I might just end up doing all of them. I really wasn't thinking about it because Lisa from 72 Stitches did hers, and it was really long. It's really big. But I have other shawls that are that big. I just don't know. I don't know. But luckily I can, if I really, really wanted to, I could put it all on holders and do all of it. And then if I'm like, oh, it needs to be longer, I could pick up, say this was the last chevron, I could pick up and knit the last repeat and then just do like all of them. Oh, I love it so much. I think it looks so cool. I was really nervous about the color palette, but now that I've seen it all together, I actually think it's really awesome. It's kind of springy with the green and like flowers. All right. All right. So yeah, so I have that. And oh, where I was the last time you guys actually saw this, I was here. So I've knit all that. I can do, well, these were so much faster. I blew through like 5 colors in the beginning, and then I've been doing maybe 1 or 2 a night when I pick this one up. But I'm making progress, so that is acceptable. I'm okay with that. And then I have one more thing that I've worked on, and that is my Ripple Camisole by Jessie Maed Designs, and I'm using that cotton yarn I purchased from the Outer Banks. Let me get, okay, it doesn't want to close right. And I do have a stitch marker on this one too, so I know how far I was. The only one I didn't know was the hat, but I finished that so fast. I mean, hats are so satisfying. They're satisfying. All right, so here's my yarn. Here's my project. I was here the last time you saw it, and I did go back to doing the combination knitting because whether I could really tell or not, I know it will tighten it up. So I went back to doing it because it's probably like minuscule amount of change on how the combination changes it, tightens it up. So I went back to it because why not? If I think it will be better. So I haven't made a ton of progress on this, but you can see from here to there. And I did take this with me, and I knit at a birthday party with a bunch of people I didn't know. And of course it sparked conversation. Yeah. And it was very nice that the person knew the difference between knitting and crochet. Not that it's a big deal, whatever. Yeah. So this is pretty mindless for the most part, and I have a lot of it to do. So the Stephen West pattern, I have to look at that pattern every time. I just can't get it memorized. I just can't remember. It's a lot of the same repeats of rows. I can't really. It's easier to have the pattern in front of me. This is just more mindless. All right, so I'm going to try to get this posted super early. Not that that's really going to change anything, because if you don't watch it until, say, Tuesday, this event will be over. Oh, look, that's where my scraps for the DK is hanging out. All right. The Fiberists present Public Knit-toxication. So we are going to this event. It is not super close for us, but it's not super far. So we're gonna go. So if anybody else goes, I hope to see you there. It'll be hopefully a cool time. I am excited. John was reading the vendor list last night, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. And like there was a lot of vendors that I'm excited about. 2 of the vendors, I believe, are in my shawl for Stephen West. So you should check this out. Sorry, it's only tomorrow, noon to 4, at a winery. So shop and enjoy. Okay. So we'll be there. I'm excited. I love going to any events. I mean, really, but to have some wine too, that's cool. I'm down. That's all I have to show you guys. That's it. It's been not a non-productive week, because obviously that hat, I finished that hat. That was just amazing to knit. It was so great. I really, really enjoyed it. So if you are looking for a pattern yet by a black pattern designer, go check her patterns out, because she has a lot. She had mitts that matched. She had another hat that was similar with like not quite a chevron, but I guess it's kind of chevron-esque. Check them out. Check them out. All right. Until the next episode. Oh, what have I been watching? What have I been reading? See, this is what happens when I'm trying to do this all in one shot. Okay. I finished a TV show on Prime. It was called Class of 2007. And I believe it was maybe an Australian show, because all the actresses, they were in Australia, I believe. Or maybe they were just all, I don't believe they were in Australia. It's kind of like if the end of the world happened and all these girls that were meeting for a reunion from Class of 2007 all get stranded in a way. And honestly, I wanted to strangle them. I wanted to reach through the television and tell them to grow the F up and stop being little pansy buttheads. And I mean, I get it. Like, I don't know what I would do in that situation, but OMG, I just couldn't. I don't know. I watched it all because I had already started it. There's only one season, and it's like 10 episodes. So if you're interested, it's on Prime. Nothing else I've been watching. We started watching Reacher, like Jack Reacher, based on the book. We got like 3 episodes in, and John and I are both still not being like sucked in. I don't know. I guess we'll try to finish it. I don't know. And let's see. Book-wise, I told you guys I listened to that audiobook and I didn't love the narrator, and I still don't love the narrator, but I did listen to book 2 because I needed something easy to listen to, and it was like next in line because I'd listened to the first one. They were the kids, well, I guess they're considered kids books. Anybody could read them. And they're for ages, what did I posted it last time. It was like 2nd to 5th grade, I think, was the grade range. The only problem I have with these books, the second one was based on Cinderella. So it's kind of like if you ever read the Treehouse series books where they can go different places in the treehouse. I can't remember what exactly that's called. Hazel has some, and I like those. These ones bother me. I guess it's a brother and a sister. And not to be like sound feminist, but I guess it's gonna sound feminist. Like, they are, I guess it's with any of these fairy tales in these old Disney movies that like encourage these, they're like 16. You don't go and be infatuated and have to be the princess. Now, the end of this one kind of redeemed itself. But the little girl, who is the older of the 2 siblings, was very much like if it was me at that age, I might not have known better either. But I would have been like, you don't need no man. I don't know. It just kind of was like, it gives me a lot of like conflicting whatever. And that's going to be with any like princess stories. I know the books have gotten, I know kids' books for Hayes and her age range have gotten better with like girl power, and you know, you don't need other people to yeah. I don't know how to put that. They've gotten better because Hazel has read some and we have some, so I know that we're not stuck in like the 1820s. Okay. The adult book that I'm listening to right now, I'm not done yet. It's very interesting, and I don't know the author's name, but I will put it here or there, whatever. I think it's like Julia Betts. I could be wrong about that. But it's called The Writing Retreat. And so far, that's been interesting. It has some scenes that, you know, more adult themed. And I haven't, like, hated it. But it hasn't also... It has sucked me in, I guess. It has sucked me in to a point because I really want to finish it because I need to know what is happening. So hopefully it's like a huge twist, and they're making it out to be maybe like a twist, but we're not sure yet. So that's where I'm at. I got like 2 hours left of listening on this, so I'm close. I'm really close. I think Megan maybe had talked about this. Penny Moons, the Necromancer podcast. The Fibromancer? Not Necromancer. The Fibromancer podcast. I believe she reads a lot of books. I think she had posted it like in her stories or something, and I had like saved it. So, The Writing Retreat. All right. Other than that. Oh, and my oldest also has some medical craziness happening. So, yeah, knock on wood for me, because right now I'm cool. Like, good to go. But I do appreciate all of the nice comments that people made for John in last episode, because he was pretty miserable. The steroids like helped like a charm, and then he was on Benadryl too. Obviously he couldn't take that for work, but he was taking it like at night for bed, because also the steroids were making like him not be able to sleep and do a bunch of crazy stuff. So yeah. But he's much better. Like, hands are back to looking mostly normal. That's like obviously where it was the worst, and his legs a little bit, but yeah. All right. I thought this was going to be much shorter than 22 minutes, but I really know how to like do the thing and not shut up. So I hope everybody's well. Check in on each other. Oh my gosh. Do the thing. Be the good friend. Be the person. Yeah. All right, I'm going to go, and I will talk to you guys in the next episode. I got my Dunkin' this morning, but I couldn't have it till like 12 o'clock because, you know, fasting. So I'm going to enjoy the rest of my coffee now. Infamous coffee swirl. Got it. Doing it.